Give me the headlines presented by Hyundai. Final 3 games where you're running a newspaper now. Newspaper business not doing great.
No.
So these headlines need to be good.
Yeah, I know.
You got a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah, I know.
Our first game, Giants defeat the Panthers 19-16. Your G-men have won again. They're 2-0.
Yeah, baby.
What's the headline?
When you Gano, you Gano. He's a weapon, man.
He is.
I mean, I think you take, like, the kid in Pittsburgh, Justin Tucker, and then after that, I think Graham Gano is in the conversation for best field goal kicker in the game. I mean, he really is. And he's just another one of those guys where if you just get to the 40-yard line, you go, well, our guy can make it. It can work. I just love the way, I think the Giants are playing the appropriate way for their football team. I think that's the big thing. Dayball realizes the offensive line is good, but not great. They're not calling long developing plays down the field just to go, wait, we got to create a play. He's doing it with hey, let's just be smart, get the ball out of Daniel Jones' hands, also getting him used to the offense. And we know he does have a problem sometimes of holding the ball too long in the pocket and gets strip sack fumbled. So they're taking that away from him to a degree. They're pretty patient with the run game. And you see here for the second week in a row, the defense doesn't give up a lot of big plays. They make you work for it. And they're like making a handful of plays here and there. They're kind of just hanging around and then waiting to the end of the game, and they're being clutch. That's kind of how I sum it up with the New York Giants right now. But are able to do that because of Wink Martindale and Brian Daboll's effect and them managing the game the right way on both sides of the football. That allows them to kind of hang around, and then they seem to make more plays down the stretch, just like they did in Week 1 against the Titans.
James Lennox 19 wants you to give some damn okay love to Xavier McKinney. He goes, we all know the Giants linebacker core is a mess, so the team's best safety stepped up, played linebacker most of the game, basically eliminating Christian McCaffrey from the passing game. Dude is the perfect fit for the Wink defense. Do you agree?
I do. He is the perfect fit. And I can't sit here and tell you that, I saw it all, but I certainly saw McKinney down by the line of scrimmage and, affecting the game a lot. Hey, he's one of those guys we talk about, that hybrid nickel safety, can kind of do everything on the football field. He's super aggressive, super good tackler for his size. So yes, he is. He's a Wink, jack of all trades type of football player for their defense. But yeah, I think, all in all, it wasn't pretty, but it's like, hey, they pull off the upset in Tennessee, who I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're better than. But here was a game that was 50-50. And the big thing is I just look at it and go, they're not making the mistakes. In games like this the last few years, we'd go, the Giants made 2 or 3 stupid fucking plays and they lost.
Almost did. End of the
tried.
first half, Daniel Jones was very lucky on a pass outside. But
yeah.
Carolina didn't make that play.
No, Carolina didn't make that play, let alone put themselves in a 6-0 hold with fumbling the opening kickoff. And then the very next drive, Robbie Anderson fumbles, catching like a screen pass. And that got the Giants a little confidence, hanging around. And then they don't do anything, but their defense kind of keeps them in there. And then they finally go on an ugly drive to make it 13-all. And, the rest is history. Yeah. And nothing was pretty or sexy. But again, I didn't think they're playing the proper way for what they are. And they're showing a toughness and grit. And I'm going to the game this week. Cowboys-Giants Monday night. I can't wait.
Where are you sitting again? With the people?
I don't know officially quite yet.
Because you talked a big game last time. You go, I sit with the people.
I'm definitely going to sit with the people.
Oh.
No, you don't have to worry about that. I believe I'm going to be in the mezzanine level, the second level.
Okay.
Right?
You'll dip out to go to the VIP suites every once in a while to say hi to the people you need to say hi to.
No, I'm a man in the crowd. I want to be in the middle of things. We're going to go wait in line at the concession stands and everything and be like normal people. Right? Okay?
Yeah.
We're not. I'm not. I never liked watching a football game within a box. And I don't want to do that. And it's not the right experience I want for my kids in their first game at Giants Stadium.
First game. This will be their first game.
First game at Giants Stadium for the Simms family.
Oh,
here.
that's
so
cool.
It's going to be fun. Yeah.
Take pictures, take video, and we'll show it on the pod.
All right, cool.
Enrod Pod host wants to know, what is more surprising, Bengals 0-2 or Giants 2-0?
That's a good one.
Yeah, Bengals 0-2, right? Because Steelers, you figure, all right, they're better than them.
Yeah.
And Cowboys without Dak.
Yeah.
They're better than
I think
them.
so, too. You're right. I mean, I'm shocked that the Giants are 2-0, too. But, yeah, I think that's the big thing. And, the other thing, just with Carolina, and I know it's Baker Mayfield, and he hasn't been there that long, but, my eyes are on Ben McAdoo. I'm just going to say that flat out. They are. It's just 2 games in a row where I feel like not many open people. Defense seems to be all over their passing game. You know, a guy like Wink Martindale, smart, knows how to break down a system, seem to be all over their stuff for the better part of the day. You know, that's one I need to look at too. Maybe Baker missed some plays. I don't know. But they certainly haven't been very impressive in the first 2 weeks on that side of the ball.
Neither offense was very impressive between the Patriots and the Steelers, but the Patriots got the win 17-14. Your headline for that game is?
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at something.
Okay.
The full Nelson.
Oh. Nelson
Agholor. Play of the game, right? That right
game.
there. And, you know, this is a game of like, hey, defense and manage the game and who can run the ball just good enough to give their offense the advantage.
Which from your tone, I can tell you really enjoy those games.
Well, I actually don't mind these games. I do like – I'm not mad at these kind of games. Yeah. Football, the coaches got to really manage it the right way.
That's true, yeah.
Right? I don't mind watching these type of football games, but I did come into the game going, if this is the kind of game it's going to be, the Patriots are going to win it. This is made for Patriots football. This is what they are right now.
Ran the ball well.
Mac takes care of the football for the most part, makes a play here and there. We'll wait for one team to make a mistake. We know the Patriots are not usually the team that does that. I know they did in week 1. They made a few, but they're usually not the team that do that. And that's kind of what happened. I felt like, hey, Agholor making the big play. And then
Gunnar Olszewski.
Oh, and Olszewski dropping the punt. Right. I was like, I know there's another play.
A Bill Belichick mole. He's like, we're going to cut you, but you're going to be on a team. You're going to be on a team. You're going to muff a punt. It'll help us go up 17-6.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what happened. The Agholor play, that was really the one big explosive offensive play in the game. I looked at the dots on that play, the next-gen dots.
Yeah.
It was end of the first half.
Right, 25 seconds left, right? Just runs a go route, right?
Yeah, there were 5 receivers out on that route. Like, none of them had any separation. Like, they were blanketed, and even Agholor was blanketed. He had an individual effort, and I was like, man, that's the Patriots offense.
Yeah,
grind out some runs. No receivers are open. Try to just get enough points to win a game.
That's I think the style of football they're going to play. You know, again, as we discussed last week, right on Wednesday and everything, I don't know if there's enough creativity to think that they're going to be getting, you know, like the old days. They're just going to be getting people open 10 and 15 yards down the field whenever they want. Doesn't seem that way. So they're going to have to play it like run the ball, Mac play smart, defense play really good, and they're capable of that. We know that. So, but I think this could be a formula we see a lot from the Patriots this year. You know, 20-17 wins, 17-14 loss. You know, 21-17 win. I think this is the range they're going to live in because I don't think they're capable of being in shootouts or doing stuff like that.
This is how good our crew is. We've got the dots from that play that I just talked about.
Nobody gets dots
and Kristen
together
and Gabby
like
back
us.
there today too. Is that okay? And Morgan's out here on the
this is like, let's rewind it again. This is my point though. Like here's what I'm talking about with just their offense in general. You know, not a lot there to go, oh wow, they're really stressing them out. You know, I don't know. Maybe he had Hunter Henry over the middle, 85. But either way, he just played a matchup. He saw the safety, 34, rotate to the middle of the field. He went, man, Nelson Agholor, he's got some speed that we've seen this year. He can maybe beat somebody deep, and he gave him a chance. And it was just a phenomenal catch going up over Ahkello Witherspoon to catch this one.
It was. Remember that time that one dude crushed him for not catching, balls? He was like, I was catching babies.
Catching babies out of the building in Philly.
And catching them, unlike Agholor.
Yeah, Aguilar's been shoving it up that guy's ass for a while here.
He could catch a baby.
Yeah, he can catch a baby
Nelson
and a lot of other ones, too.
Catch a baby now. Final game of the day. The Broncos or Texans might not even want us to talk about this game. Both fan bases were probably very upset at many times during this game. Broncos did get the win, though, 16-9. And your headline is?
My headline is Russ against the clock. Whoa.
Yeah, they was like a battle. It was a battle for the Denver Broncos to get the playoff on time.
Well, we saw it week 1. And then the Denver fans, which, you've heard me say before, and I was telling Florio last week, the Broncos are so the king of that city that, they literally could have the Rockies and the Nuggets in the World Series and the NBA Finals at the same time, and they'd be like, we're starting the show with the Broncos. They're in spring practice. I know, Yeah. So that's the way they are that way. And the fans, literally, that when we turn on the telecast, at first we were like, what are they doing? And they were counting down the clock so they would get the plays off in time.
I know.
Which was, like trolling their own team, but kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, they probably thought they needed the help because they did. They did need the help. I mean, the offensive problems
still
for
a bunch,
for the
right.
Broncos, it's crazy. They have failed to score a touchdown in their last 5 goal-to-go drives. It ties the longest streak to start a season in the last 30 years. And so it's like they're not getting plays off. And they got issues there. They got issues, and it's a new head coach, Nathaniel Hackett. And you got to kind of get it figured out, though, because first impressions, that's real. Right? First impressions are real.
No doubt about it.
And unless you now rip off 8 straight wins in a row, people are going to think maybe this is overwhelming to you.
Yeah, I get it. The way that's what happens when you mess up an end-of-game situation in week 1. Now you're under the microscope. Everybody's watching. And, yeah, now they haven't scored 5 times in the red zone, even though it's like, well, no, they did some good things in the red zone the other night. They just had the running back fumble on the 1-inch line twice, right? They're going to walk in. We think they're going to score either way. They've done good things. Yesterday, here was my big thing just watching the game. And, again, there's 5 games going on. But I kept going really early on. I just kept going, man, they're just going to try to drop back and throw it, and they're just going to keep throwing it even though they're not doing anything, and it doesn't seem like any plays are happening. And the game shifted, to, in my opinion, just watching it third quarter, where they finally just said, wait. Most likely the Texans were playing a lot of 2 deep coverage. That's what Lovie Smith, and they started running the football. That, to me, is where the game changed that way. And then the fact that, again, the Texans, they lack explosive playmakers on that side of the ball. Davis Mills isn't going to make a lot of big plays with his arm. Brandon Cooks is the only guy they really got that scares you. And if a defense kind of takes him away, you just go, boy, all right, so who else is going to do anything against us today? And that's the issue they run into. I felt like early in the game, they were trying to, though, the Broncos were trying to make it, like, we're going to make it look good for Russell and the team. And I want to go, yeah, but it's, you're down 6-3, and I know you want to make the passing game work and make everybody good, but let's just win the game and then go from there. And, fortunately for the Broncos and Nathaniel Hackett, they made that adjustment and really started gashing them in the run game.
Pete asked a good question. Should Nathaniel Hackett give up his play calling duties? Does he have too much on his plate right now?
I don't think so. I don't. No, I'm not ready to say that. The end of the game situation last week was just, plain and simple, stupid. I don't know what they were doing. The process was wrong. Pre-game thought of it was wrong. The whole process was wrong. But as we said last week too, the thing that stunk about that is their offense looked good in that game. They made a lot of big plays in that game. They moved the ball up and down the Seattle field in the second half of the game. So, no, he should not. He was brought there to call the plays. What you want there, is I don't know who he's got helping him out to be who do I lean on for game management situations? Or if I am by the sidelines for a second talking about the quarterback with the offensive line and a blitz we can't pick up and we're drawing something, who can I trust to be that guy? And there's a lot of young guys on that coaching staff too, so that's where I don't know where that goes there. But no, the reason he is there is to call plays, so we don't want to give up on that. It just wasn't a pretty day, but either way, they got the win.
You have to be really good at clock management and whether to challenge or not, or whether to go for it or not, because those are the things that fans are actually really good at. Because that's all we're focused on. Right? We don't have to worry about talking to the OC, the DC, talking to the players, personnel groupings, who's hurt, who's not, and that's all stuff the head coach has to think about.
Yep.
So we're just focused on all that clock management, game management type stuff, and so fans are actually pretty good at that. And so if you're not, that stands out
it's glaring.
to fans.
Yeah, you become a social media star in a hurry when you mess up end of game situations.
Or you're on the front page of the headlines and the newspaper. That was Give Me the Headlines, presented by Hyundai.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.